everybody. Welcome to Tina Zaccardi Bakes. I am Tina Zaccardi, winner of season 4 of the Great American Baking Show. And Thanksgiving is done. I think we all had enough shopping this weekend, so it's time for holiday cookies, one of my favorite times of the year. So today we are making my slice and bake shortbread cookies. And what's great about these cookies is that they can be customized with so many different mix-ins. You can use any kind of chocolate you like, dark, milk, or white. You can use dried fruits, you can use raisins, you can use dried cherries, dried cranberries, and any kind of nut you like. Pistachios, walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts. So you can make them to the way you like them. So what's also great about this cookie is we're making a log, and the recipe makes 2 logs of cookies that we're going to stash in the freezer or the fridge, and we're going to be able to slice off cookies and bake them anytime we want a little sweet treat. So we're going to get started. And if anybody has any questions, we love questions. Please just type them into the chat box and they will feed them to me and I'll be able to answer your questions. So in here we have some room temperature butter. We want it soft. And we're going to add some brown sugar, some granulated sugar, some kosher salt, and a little bit of vanilla extract. And then we're going to get this going. Okay. Everybody can see that going in there. We want this to be nice and smooth and very well combined. So you can add vanilla, which we did, but you can also add some orange zest or some lemon zest. Lemon and almond is a great combination. Orange zest with some dark chocolate and pistachios would be really great. Turn this on about medium speed. We're going to get this going. You can see it's already starting to get smooth, and that's because our butter was room temperature and ready to go. If it's cold out of the fridge, it's not going to beat up like this. So you want to remember to either take it out, or another way to soften your butter is you can put it already wrapped in that wax paper comes in, and put it in the microwave and do like 5-second burn. Do 5 seconds and then see how it is. So you don't want it to melt, but you just want it to be soft enough to be able to combine with that butter. Okay. This looks really good. Okay. And this recipe is a shortbread recipe, and it has no eggs. So which means the kids can eat the dough and you don't have to worry about there being eggs in it. So today I'm going to flavor my shortbread with dried tart cherries and dark chocolate. One of my favorite flavor combinations. We're going to throw that right in. And we're also going to throw in the flour. Again, this is a super easy recipe that comes together very quickly.
Mary Justin loves shortbread cookies.
Hey, right? I mean, they're so good. They're that melt in your mouth texture is so good. So we're going to get this mixing, and what you might see is that it's going to start to look a little crumbly, and you're going to think, oh, this dough is never going to come together. But just let it go, and we want to do it on low. We don't want to develop any gluten by whipping that flour in or over mixing. And you can see it's starting to form some clumps. There we go. I'm going to give this bowl a really good scrape. We just want to make sure that everything is combined. We don't want to see any flour. We want it to be all mixed together. And I'm just going to do a couple more rotations. And there we go. So what I've done today, I made half the recipe. So we're only making 1 roll of dough, but the full recipe will make 2 8 to 9 inch logs. Take this log. We don't need our mixer anymore. I'm going to put that out of the way. And I'm going to grab some plastic wrap. I'm going to clean this up a bit. what? 3 or 4 minutes to put that dough together. There we go. We're gonna clean off our beater. Make sure we get every little bit of that dough. I'm gonna take it and we're just kind of going to dump it right out on that plastic wrap. Okay. And this is something that the kids can get their hands into. It'll be like playing with Play-Doh for them. And we're gonna form this into a log.
How many cookies does one log usually give you?
So it depends. I give you a range of thickness to slice it. So you can do 1/4 inch to 1/3 of an inch. These can be pretty nice thick cookies. So if you do the 1/4 inch, the log is about 8 inches. So you'll probably get about exactly, if you cut them exactly 1/4 of an inch, you should be able to get 32, but that just never happens because some are bigger, some are smaller. I would say you're going to get maybe 20 to 24 from each log. There we go. So there we go. And I have a ruler around here somewhere. And I'm just going to see how long this is. This is almost 8 inches. So we want to get it a little longer. And there we go. And from here, we're going to wrap the plastic around it. And then we're going to twist it up like that. And that really helps to really tighten that plastic and get it to a really nice rounded shape. Now, when you go to put it in your refrigerator, you're going to probably stick it on the shelf like this. And what's going to happen is one side is going to get flat. So I'm going to show you a little trick so that your dough doesn't get flat on one side and it stays perfectly round, so you get really nice round cookies. So you know those cardboard tubes in the middle of your paper toweling? Well, now you've got a use for them. It's nice and round, just perfect. So what I like to do is I like to take a scissor and just cut it open, just like this. There we go. We're going to take our roll of cookies. I'm going to stick it right in there. See that? And we're going to get some tape and we're going to tape it closed. So it might roll around, but it's going to stay nice and round. It's not going to flatten on one side. And when you go to cut your cookies, they're going to be nice and round. We're going to get some tape.
That's a great idea.
Right? Now you have something to do with your paper towel rolls. And there we go.
Allison just says such a great tip. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Allison. And what's great about the masking tape is that you can write on it, and you can write what flavor it is, because if you make a couple of different kinds, you want to be able to know what it is. So this can go straight into the freezer, okay? Just like this. Or the refrigerator if you plan on using it within 1 to 2 days. But for longer storage, I would pop it in the freezer and it can stay there. So this is a great make-ahead cookie. So if you want to make a couple rolls of these now, and then maybe the week before Christmas, you slice it up and bake it, it makes life so much easier. You're not cleaning up the bowl and everything. All you're doing is slicing, sticking them on a cookie sheet, and you're done. So I'm going to take this out. Before we slice them up, I'm going to show you a little trick. Really not a trick, it's really more of a tip. And if you have people you need to give gifts to, or maybe you're going to a party and need a hostess gift, or you have a neighbor or a friend that you just don't know what to get them, make them some cookie dough. And what's really nice about these is you can make them the way they like them. So if you get like an advance invite to a friend's house, and you know they like white chocolate, you can put white chocolate in here. But what I like to do is, you've got your roll of cookies, and I have a little piece of paper here that tells them exactly what it is, how thick to slice it, and how to bake it. You get all your baking instructions right there. And the plastic, you can wrap this in parchment paper, you can wrap this in pretty tissue paper from here, or you could, do a double wrap of plastic. But what I like to do is I like to take a really pretty dish towel. We're going to place our roll of cookies here and our baking instructions. And we're going to wrap it up. We want the pretty print on here to show. And then we're going to take some ribbon and we're going to tie up each side. So it kind of looks like one of those Christmas crackers that they have in England, that they pull and then they get a little prize inside. I'm going to tie some pretty ribbons here. There we go. Just one more. And there you have your cookies with your pretty towel. And to make it an even better gift, you can throw in a bottle of wine and maybe some kitchen tools like these Christmassy looking spatulas. You know your friends, so whatever they like to use in the kitchen would be great. So this is really great. And what's nice is sometimes you come with cookies that are already baked, and they put them out for their guests and they never get to eat them. Well, these cookies can be just for them. They can you can gift them, tell them to put them right in the freezer, and then whenever they want cookies, they can slice a few off and bake them. So that's my little gift guide tip for cookie dough. It makes a really great gift. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to slice these now. So I'm gonna open this that I made yesterday, and it's been in my refrigerator. You can see how it's still nice and round. It's not flat on one side, and it's nice and firm. It's nice and chilled up. And I have a pan that's been lined with parchment paper. I'm going to take our plastic off.
Allison says it's like having your own Pillsbury cookies made quality.
It is, right? But you can make them however you like them.
And she also says, how long does this last in the freezer? Allison
They
says
can
it.
last like 2 to 3 months in the freezer, wrapped really well. I would like double wrap them in plastic and stick them in a Ziploc bag just to make sure they stay nice and fresh. So we've got our log, and I'm just going to cut off the end just to even it out. Make sure you get a really sharp knife to do this. Okay. Sometimes the chunks of chocolate are really big and they kind of get in the way of the knife, but we're gonna just soldier on. So we're gonna cut this about between 1/4 and a 1/3 of an inch thick. And there's our cookie. You're just gonna place them on your parchment lined sheet. We're gonna cut another one, show you. And if it does start to press a little, every time you cut, rotate a little, and you can kind of fix the flat side with your fingers. There you go. So from here, these are going to bake in a 300-degree oven, and I know that sounds kind of low, but these are shortbread, and you want to cook them low and slow. If you cook them higher, the butter will start to spread, they're not going to retain their shape, and they're going to over brown. With shortbread cookies, you want them to be kind of a very pale color. You don't want some browning. So again, this goes in the oven, 300 degrees for 20 to 22 minutes. Again, low and slow. And when they come out, and I just lost an earbud, been having problems with these today. There we go. When they come out of the oven, this is what they're going to look like. I'm going to show you one right here. There they go. They're gonna brown very lightly on the bottom, and they're gonna be just very pale golden brown on top. Now, these were 300 degrees for 22 minutes. I'm gonna show you one that was baked at 325. So you can see the difference. You can see how there's a dark ring around it, and you can see how the butter started to spread out. This is a much nicer, better tasting cookie than this one. So remember, 300 degrees for 20 to 22 minutes, depending on your oven. So I hope that you guys try these cookies. Put the mix-ins the way you like them, whether it's raisins or dried cherries or cranberries or different kinds of nuts and different kinds of chocolates. And they are a super fun, easy way to give a gift as well. So I will see you next Monday, probably with another Christmas cookie or a holiday cookie. And everybody have a great week.